To take the derivative of this function, we're going to need to apply the quotient rule. So recall that the quotient rule says that we're going to take the derivative of the numerator. So let me call that f of x, and then let me call the denominator, let me call that g of x, so that we can remind ourselves of the quotient rule. Take the derivative of the numerator, multiply it by the denominator, and then subtract that from the numerator times the derivative of the denominator, and then divide that whole thing by the square of the denominator. So let's go ahead and do that using the quotient rule. So I'm going to go ahead and take the derivative of 7x plus 2. So that derivative is just 7 plus 0. And then we're going to multiply that by the denominator, which is 10x to the third, plus 3x minus 6 to the fifth power. Okay. We're going to subtract that from the numerator, 7x plus 2, times the derivative of the denominator. Now, when we get ready to take the derivative of the denominator, notice that we're going to have to use the chain rule. So I've got this thing raised to the fifth power, so I'm going to have to take the power rule. And then after I do that, I'm going to have to multiply it by the derivative of the inside part, which is the 10x to the third plus 3x minus 6. So let me go ahead and apply the power rule to take the derivative of the outside part. Okay, so I've got 5 times 10x to the third plus 3x minus 6, and that's 5 minus 1, that's the power. And then again, applying the chain rule here, after I take the derivative of the outside function, I'm going to multiply it by the derivative of the inside function, and the inside part is the part that I just circled in that purple color. So let's go ahead and take the derivative of 10x to the third, which gives me 30x squared. The derivative of 3x is just 3, and then the derivative of minus 6 is 0. Okay, and then let's clean this up. Oh, before we do that, I almost already forgot. We're going to divide that whole thing by the square of the denominator. So 10x to the third plus 3x minus 6 to the fifth, and we're raising that to the second power. Okay, now let's clean this up. So in the numerator, what do we have here? I have 7 times the quantity 10x to the third plus 3x minus 6 to the fifth power minus 7x plus 2 times, let's see here, times 5 times 10x to the third plus 3x minus 6 to the fourth power times 30x squared plus 3 all over. And then if you recall here, anytime I have a power raised to another power, I could just multiply those together. So in the denominator, I've got 10x to the third plus 3x minus 6 raised to the 10th power. Now let's see if we can clean anything up in the numerator. So in the numerator, I hope that you can see that in this term right here, I've got that 10x to the third plus 3x minus 6 raised to the fifth power in it. And then in the second term, so this whole thing right here is the second term, I hope that you can see it also has a factor of 10x to the third plus 3x minus 6 to the fourth. So what I can do here is I can factor out 10x to the third plus 3x minus 6 to the fourth. And so in the numerator, what that is going to look like is it's going to look like this. So I'm going to factor out that 10x to the third plus 3x minus 6 to the fourth. And then what's left inside is this. So in this term here, when I factor out one of those, I'm going to be left with, so in the inside, I'm going to be left with that 7, and then I'm going to have one more of these left. So 10x to the third plus 3x minus 6, okay? And then let's see, what else do we have here? Minus, so over here, I'm going to still have this. This is still going to be left, right? This I already just factored out, and then I'm still going to have that left. So that's going to give me 5 times 7x plus 2 times 30x squared plus 3 in the numerator, okay? And then that's all over that denominator of 10x to the third plus 3x minus 6 to the 10th power. And then hopefully you can see here that this term right here has a common thing with the denominator there. So here I have these two things that are the same. One's raised to the fourth power, one's raised to the 10th power. So using the laws of exponents, this is going to cancel out on the top. And then in the bottom, I'm going to be left with that thing raised to the 6th power. Okay, so f prime of x is now equal to 7 times 10x to the third plus 3x minus 6 minus 5 times 7x plus 2 times 30x squared plus 3 all over 10x to the third plus 3x minus 6 to the 6th power. And you can leave your answer like this, but guys, I won't be sad if you stopped up here and gave me that as your answer as well. Okay? All right. I know that was a lot of work.